Greetings, your majesties and gentles of the East. Herein are my answers to the first and second of the questions posed to me by their majesties and the scholars of the court. I hope you will be pleased by the solutions presented and that they will be useful to you and your populace in matters of travel and animal husbandry. Question the first. A merchant in his carrack leaves Bacale for l'Île du Dragon Dormant, averaging 3 knots or 75 miles a day. On the same day, at the same hour, an explorer in his caravel leaves l'Île du Dragon Dormant for Bacale, averaging 4 knots or 100 miles a day. I ask how much time is required before they see each other, and, as the baronies are separated by 1,700 nautical miles, how far has each traveled? To solve this with the tree method, first you must know the number of days each ship will travel. For the number of days the carrack will travel, divide the 1,700 by the 75 and get 22 2/3 days. For the number of days the caravel will travel, divide the 1,700 by the 100. The caravel will travel 17 days to Bacale. You put it that it will be 10 days until they meet. In 10 days, the carrack will travel a portion of the trip that is 10 divided by 22 2/3. That is, 15/34 of the trip. And also in 10 days, the caravel will travel a portion of the trip that is 10 divided by 17, so that between them, they travel 15/34 plus 10/17 or 35/34 of the trip, which is 1/34 too far. So you will divide the 10 days by 35/34, and thus the answer is 9 5/7 days after commencing the trip shall they meet. In those 9 5/7 days, the carrack shall travel 75 miles a day, so you will multiply the 9 5/7 by the 75, thus the carrack shall have traveled 728 4/7 miles. Similarly, you will multiply the 9 5/7 by the 100 to get the 971 3/7 miles that the caravel has traveled. The 728 4/7 and the 971 3/7 are the 1,700 miles between the two baronies. Thus the answer is correct. When they meet, the two ships will be in the seas near the canton of Secher in the barony of Ruan-Tallon. Question the second. One of our subjects has a pair of miniature eastern blue tigers in an enclosed forest and wants to know how many are created from his pair in a year when, according to nature, each couple requires 1 month to grow old and each subsequent month procreates another couple. At the beginning of the year, there is 1 pair of miniature eastern blue tigers, and after the first month, they produce a second pair. This pair requires 1 month to grow old, so after the second month, the first pair produces a pair, but the second does not. Thus, after the second month, there are 3 pairs, the 2 from the first month and the 1 produced by the pair old enough to do so, that is, that was in the forest at the beginning of the year. In the third month, the first 2 pairs from the first month are old enough to produce new pairs of miniature eastern blue tigers, in addition to the 3 pairs from the second month who are living in the enclosed forest, to yield 5 pairs after the third month. And thus you shall see that for each month you shall add the number of pairs from the previous month, living in the forest, to the number from 2 months before, which is the number of new pairs produced in that month, being the number of pairs that are old enough to produce new pairs. So for the 4th month, you shall add the numbers from the previous month and 2 months before, being 5 and 3, to yield 8 pairs at the end of the 4th month. And after the 5th month, you shall add the 8 from the previous month to the 5 from 2 months before to obtain 13 pairs. For the 6th month, you shall add the 13 and the 8 to obtain 21 pairs after the 6th month. Likewise, for the 7th month, you shall add the 21 and the 13 for 34 pairs. And after the 8th month, there shall be 34 plus 21 for 55 pairs. And in the 9th month, you shall add 55 and 34 for 89 pairs. In the 10th month, add 89 and 55 for 144 pairs. In the 11th month, add 144 and 89 for 233 pairs. And thus, after 1 year, which is the 12th month, you shall add 233 for the 11th month and 144 for the 10th month, so that there are 377 pairs of miniature eastern blue tigers living in the enclosed forest. I hope your majesties are satisfied with the answers I have given thus far to your questions. I will deliver my answer to the last question more personally.